Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Game 3 podcast. This is 94.1 news and reviews for July, 12th? 12th.
12th.
Yes. What's up, David? How you been?
Good. It's been a busy week. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Kind of the same. It's been a little busy for me, but mostly just stupid errands and stuff and dealing with whatnot. But the fun stuff has been that it's been super hot here. We just got a alert from the government saying that we all need to stay inside. Just got on my phone. It says it's going to have a heat index of over 110 degrees. So
awesome.
Mississippi's awesome, which has caused my normal size air conditioner to freak out, and it's like 86 in my house, even with it going all the time. It's nice. It's nice. You want to visit soon?
I would love that. But actually, I just got a new hammock installed on my balcony so I can take naps in the currently 77-degree weather we're having. So I'll probably keep doing that. Although tomorrow I am heading down to Arkansas, so I'll be back in the 90s, which will feel hellish for me. Probably a nice respite for you from the sound of it.
Yeah. What the heck? I woke up with that on my phone. It was like, hi, this is the government, and you need to stay inside for reals. It was insane.
Citizens, remain calm. You live in a place that should not be habitated by humans.
And it mostly isn't, considering, judging by the people from around here. Dude, did you see Inside Out?
No, I have not seen it.
Are you an adult or something?
Yeah,
no. It's good, dude. It's really good.
Here's what I've seen the past week. I saw Jurassic World. I saw Mad Max. I saw the new Terminator movie. And due to a mix-up at the theater, okay, so we show up, and we're watching the previews. And it's like, there's a new Sheep movie from the makers of Wallace and Gromit. And now Hotel Transylvania 2, because that needed a sequel. It's about a vampire and his kid. I'm like, I
saw that.
This is pretty great. And so I'm watching these previews, and I'm like, and it's like, and now a PureFlix direct to DVD kind of movie about finding God in Vietnam and prayer. And I'm like, doesn't really feel like previews for Mad Max. Like,
yeah. Like a hopeless dystopia where God has abandoned you. Now, to preface that,
followed by and before that, like 4 rated G children's movies, and I'm like, I got a bad feeling about this. There's a picture of me that my cousin took of I'm just looking at my ticket, like reading the theater, and it's like Mad Max. I'm like, what? So then previews are over. The screen turns black, and it says, dogs were used in the military since this year because they're such goddamn heroes. And I was like, oh no. And it like zooms out. It's Max, the Marine, the dog, the hero.
What?
There's a movie out right now about a Marine dog. He's a Marine and he's also a dog. Remember Air Bud? He was like a basketball player and also a dog. Well, this one is about a Marine dog who's a hero, but he's also your best friend. His name is Max. The movie's name is Max. They had mixed up the reels. They downloaded Max, the dog,
no way.
instead of Mad Max. So,
oh my God, what did they do?
I went out there. I was like, I feel like we're supposed to be watching Mad Max, but you're airing just normal, emotionally stable Max, who's also a dog. And they're like, oh yeah. They're like, we'll go ahead and switch that out. So we sit there for about 15 minutes in the dark, and then they come back out and they're like, yeah, so we're not good. It was like 10:45 by this point, or 11. They're like, yeah, we're not going to be showing you Mad Max tonight because it takes several hours to download the movie. Some behind the scenes things I didn't know.
You have to download it?
Yeah, you download the film. And they were like, yeah, sorry, here's a refund. Also, feel free to go catch any other movies that are playing. What other movies are playing, I asked. Well, it's really late. So basically Ted 2. I was like, all right.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I saw Ted 1. And it's kind of stoner comedy, but, it's Colorado, so we can make that work. So we go watch Ted 2. Not a great movie. However, funniest surprise cameo I've ever seen. Liam Neeson shows up at one point.
What?
And I am crying with laughter during his scene. It's this little brief scene. It'll show up on YouTube eventually, and I'll send it to you because it just made me so happy. So it was a small little miracle, little Liam miracle in the middle of that very weird night. But
Wow,
long story short, I haven't seen Inside Out, but I've seen like 4 movies this week because I've been entertaining guests, and that's what you do.
that's awesome, man. Oh, Star Wars is coming out too. It's pretty cool.
Yes,
Got
I've been kind of avoiding previews for that after the teaser because I just want to be.
Oh, you totally make fun of me when I do that, and then for my whole life, and all of a sudden, the wisdom of Jeremiah has come through.
Well, listen, I saw the teaser. That's all I want to know. I feel confident it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's like me, except one step back.
Oh, by the way, I am going to check out Inside Out in about 4 years, which is the average of how long it takes you to check things out that I recommend. so chew on that for a minute, see how it tastes.
But Inside Out's been awesome. They must have had like a psychologist on staff because like they show visually like and in a fun way concepts that are really important. It's like basically CBT, and so I've already used it like in like a few sessions. Like I've been like, so you saw Inside Out? They're like, yeah. I'm like, great, because I have a kid client, and then also just there were some adults who had kids. I was like, okay, it's kind of like that. We're gonna be getting to those from here, and this affects that. And they're like, oh man, that movie's really smart. I was like, yep, way smarter than most people understand. Because most people are like, it's really good. It shows emotions and things, but it's actually
feelings.
Amazing.
Feelings. You have feelings about things.
I don't know if you've seen that. Someone was making fun of it. They're like Pixar 2000 and whatever one or something, and they were like, cars have feelings, and they just keep going. Toys have feelings, robots have feelings, and then it was like 2015. Feelings have feelings.
Everything has feelings.
That's so funny. But yeah, there's a lot of news to talk about, so I guess we can jump right into that. You want to?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, this is the news section where it's hot as balls here, and David is showing me that it's very not hot there on the camera. Thanks for that. But yeah, so the news section.
Yes.
What do you got, man? I've got quite a few things.
Well, we had Comic-Con, so some gaming news leaks out from there every so often. They actually leaked the Deadpool trailer, which is hilarious. Ryan Reynolds playing the Merc with the mouth. But
yeah, I didn't watch it. It's that weird trailer thing for me.
Ah, yes. You sent me 2 trailers this morning. I'm getting mixed signals from you about trailers.
That's because those 2 movies, I don't know if I want to see. Like Jared Leto as the Joker for Suicide Squad, I just don't know. I don't think I want to see it because I want to believe, but I don't want to waste any more money on things. After being burned by so many movies and so many games, I'm like, I want to be skeptical. And Jared Leto, I don't know, man. Like his Joker was just weird with the tattoos. I don't know if I want to see it. And same thing with Batman versus Superman. I'm like, I hate Ben Affleck as a person, but his acting is okay.
Then you'll be excited about my first news item. For all the fans that were clamoring for more Ben Affleck because they were like, "Oh man, it's gonna be Batman, awesome!" Like that was kind of the universal reaction, right?
That was not the universal reaction.
Well, those people are going to be happy because not only is he going to be the Batman in Batman versus Superman, they've also decided to let him write, direct, and star in the next Batman solo movie. So he's going to do everything.
What?
Because, some people were like, okay, Ben Affleck's kind of an idiot, but he can act. We'll give him that. He's an actor. He can do can do acting. And they're like, so he can only act? They're like, yeah, he's an idiot otherwise. I'm like, okay, we're going to let him write and direct this next one, too.
Oh, my gosh. You can't respect the guy who, on your breakout film, the one that really got him going, Good Will Hunting, you choose to be the shitty carpenter guy or construction guy when the other guy is playing a genius. You both wrote it together, so there's no excuse for that. You should have also been awesome. But instead, he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to be this construction guy." And then Matt Damon's like, "Okay, well, I think I want to be a genius that kind of like held down." And then he's like struggles between, do I really want the genius life and work hard, or just live like kind of a Zen lifestyle with my friends? And Ben Affleck's like, "Yeah, but what if we get fighting bars and shit?" And he's like, "All right, so yeah, but fighting bars, you should be the next Batman director." That's what he said to him a long time ago.
I was in that pitch movie. They were just like, all right, listen up. We got Ben Affleck. He wants to write and direct the next Batman movie. And the executives were like, I don't know. He's kind of an idiot. And he's like, that's just gross. That's racist. And they're like, okay, fair point, Ben Affleck. That doesn't trump any other logic. So yes, you may. You may direct.
Dude, that's so weird considering, like, okay, everybody is waiting, I think, like, with bated breath, I think is the term. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, everybody's waiting, like, just and really skeptical of, like, his performance. They're all like, okay, let's see. Even on the trailers, people talk about it in all the comments. You can't help but see it. People are like, I don't know if he'll be able to pull this off. It's like the Jared Leto Joker thing. Like, it's just difficult to take a role after someone like Christian Bale knocked it out of the park, minus the voice, right? That's really weird. But you haven't even gotten the audience's reaction. What if it flops? What if it gets there and it's like, yeah, the film was great, but I'll tell you one thing that fucked me up every scene was Ben Affleck being a douchebag. Like, and they're like, oh,
Good news. He's gonna be 3 times the douche on the next movie.
Exactly. Well, good thing we invested $400 million in allowing him total control over the next one.
We didn't let Joss Whedon have creative liberty on Avengers 2, but I got a good feeling about this Ben Affleck guy. He seems sharp.
He's got a real rabid fan base. No,
Joss Whedon's an untested variable, so we're going to restrict him.
Like, yeah, he can do a lot with a limited budget and a stellar cast, and everyone that's ever worked with him loves him and begs him being on any of his things. And anytime he calls, someone goes, like, whenever he called Nathan Fillion, and he sees it's Joss's number, and he goes, he just picks up, he goes, yes. And he goes, well, hold on, I've got this idea. And he goes, I said yes. And he goes, but it's a single long blog. And he goes, dude, yes, whatever. It's going to work out, I'm sure.
Say yes.
So, like, you know, he's untested, but I'll tell you, like, if you want a summer blockbuster, you need to get Ben Affleck in charge of that immediately. I don't understand.
So we saw the two those, like, Suicide Squad and Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like Warner Brothers and DC are trying to make 2016 the summer of DC comic book movies, which is ballsy because it kind of feels like people are getting tired of them.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think, okay, so I've got a theory about that. They're trying to bring together their worlds like Marvel did.
Right,
you know,
they're doing their Justice League kind of setup.
Yeah, I think the Suicide Squad is setting up the Justice League because Dawn of Justice, and it shows the 3 founding members of the Justice Leagues, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably going to bring all this together, and then maybe, I don't know, it depends. I don't know how the Squad's going to fit into that, but
yeah, no, it definitely feels like they're trying to recreate the Marvel magic, but
yeah.
Even Marvel's losing steam, right? Like Avengers 2 wasn't as well received as Avengers. Nobody that I know is at all excited about Ant-Man. Like, I'm going to see it because, but most people are kind of like, meh. So, I don't know. There's a little bit of ennui with superhero movies right now. Like, it's going more dystopia reboots. Like, it's just all reboots in the theater. So,
Yeah, the Wolverine started, like, that slowly dropped off. They juiced that for all it's worth. And then the X-Men, the last movie, they is there going to be another one? First class? Okay, because it felt
Apocalypse.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say
that's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
that's Fox. That's not Marvel Studios. Like Marvel Studios, I feel like is running out of juice.
Okay, I thought you were saying superheroes movies in general.
Yeah,
but although X-Men, I mean, anytime you get Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart in a movie,
that's kind of
people. Or you're gonna watch that.
I mean, it's no Ben Affleck, but they're pretty good actors.
But it's a summer blockbuster, so of course
you're not expecting a lot. You're not expecting the genius of Ben Affleck from one of those movies,
right? He's a very nuanced character.
It's racist. It's gross. I was watching. I saw so many previews this week, right? And I was watching the ones in front of Terminator, which, by the way, Terminator, good times.
Really?
It's the one franchise where the mythology of the story actually justifies a reboot, right? Because it's time travel and going back and redoing it. So it's like, yeah, that actually makes sense because you could have an alternate timeline where it played out slightly differently, and that's the reboot. But I was watching it and I was looking at the previews. There's a preview for that Pixel game, the alien invaders that are video game characters. That it's the Adam. What's his name? Adam
West?
No, the Waterboy /
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Sandler. It's his little like comeback movie, and it looks terrible, but we'll probably have to watch it because we have a podcast on video games, and if we're exactly the demographic that's supposed to be wanting to watch it. But anyway, there's that. There was a bunch of other kind of reboots, like Gem and the Holograms. Does that need to be
What?
rebooted? Remember that? It was like
No.
an 80s cartoon for
Yeah.
girls? Yeah, that's coming back. So I was sitting there, and the movie I was watching was a reboot. I'm like, man, they're just like milking that nostalgia machine. Like everyone that's in their late 20s, early 30s, that's like the money they're going after right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to figure it out. Speaking of trailers, World of Warcraft, the trailer came out. I'm sorry, did I say came out? Actually, man, was just shown at Comic-Con, and they refused to put it online. That pisses me off a little bit. Like, great, that's good. Go to Comic-Con. I want to go someday. It's on my bucket list. But what the fuck? Like, you don't. I hate it that they showed it to like maybe what, a few thousand people. How many people go to Comic-Con? Maybe
Not just
15,000.
people at Comic-Con, the people who actually waited 6 hours in line to get into that specific room
Panel.
at that time. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're like, oh, we don't want to show it to anyone else. I'm like, come on, what the hell? Like, the other ones, even, I don't like that in general because that Suicide Squad trailer got leaked, and the other one I think just got released. But I just, why do that? That's stupid. Like, yes, you've got you what, sold it to your rabid fans that would wait 6 hours just to hear you talk about the movie anyway? Of course they're gonna approve of the trailer. You could just be like, here's the trailer, and it's just a guy jerking off, and you'd be like, yeah, this movie's gonna be great because you just waited 6 hours.
It's a way to double dip on your PR, right? So like you release it just to the people who are going to love it, and then you have us talking about it and real news networks talking about it. Like, oh, there was a release, Kotaku, a leaked trailer. Somebody saw somebody talk about something, and then they get all that enthusiasm and people talking about their movie, and then a month later when they release the trailer, they get a second wave of it. So it's like getting 2 for 1 as far as like PR comes from. It's smart. It's just a dick move.
Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, you may be right. I guess I'd have to see the numbers on that, but that does make a lot of sense. But I hate it. It's like DLC. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, it makes a lot of money released. If you make the game and then start cutting pieces off and DLC it, yeah, it makes sense. But we don't like it.
Stop.
But I really want to see it. I want to see. I want to see if it's going to be worthwhile. I just can't tell. Like,
yeah. So from what we know, it's going to be kind of the origin story of how the orcs got to Azeroth, and then that first Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2 kind of storyline, and the rise of thralls. So, it's all that, speaking of nostalgia, it's all that stuff that we used to love about Warcraft story before it got really weird.
I was going to say that, okay, I like that. I think that's cool, but that's been done like 16 times, and I'm hardly exaggerating. Like, it came out in Warcraft, the game. Then you get World of Warcraft, and you can go and kind of re-experience a few of that. And then they did Warcraft Adventures. It was like a show, and they showed the Rise of Thrall. And then on the I can't remember which expansion it was. Like, you can go and like help Thrall. You go back in time and help Thrall, like, get out of his chains. So that's like 4 already. Then they did the Caverns of Time, and then you go and do that again. So that's like 5. And then like,
the Warlords of Draenor expansion. That's basically just redoing that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just we're done. It's an amazing story, but I mean, I'll watch it, of course. So maybe I need to shut up. But
we're just sick of it. I'm definitely gonna buy a ticket though.
I know it's like the reboots. I'm like, reboots. Geez, let's get over that. Definitely need to go watch Mad Max now immediately. So I'm a sucker. So I still, I wish that someone would come out with something clever, like the movie Snowpiercer. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, Korean movie.
Is it okay? Yeah, it has Captain America. What's that guy's name? Chris Evans. A
lot of the original stuff is coming out of other countries. Like Hollywood's playing it safe this year. But like Korea is always doing like Old Boy, Thirst. Like they've always had like really kind of cool twists on things.
Yeah. So they had that, and Chris Evans had to play a character. So he's coming off. He's like literally just. I think he's also filming the Avengers, or he was just about to. So he's massive, right?
Yeah.
He's huge, and he has to play like an emaciated, like. Well, you saw, like they're in this back of this cart, they're starving to death slowly, and he's like this massive dude. So they put him in like 6 overcoats and like a homeless, like kind of head warmer.
He's a ripped, starving guy.
And then they popped all the collars so you can't see the bulging veins in his neck, and I was like, this works actually. But a couple of the shots they show, you're like, oh yeah, he's still huge. But whatever, that's a good movie, and I wish people come out with stuff like that. But I guess it's a gamble.
Yeah. So they just announced Disney Infinity 3.0. It's coming out August 30th, so I have to plan my budget accordingly, and my running schedule. I have to brush back up on that. It's going to be kind of crazy. And
Star Wars, right?
Yep, it's gonna be Star Wars. So like if you get the starter thing, it comes with Anakin and Ahsoka Tano, because everyone loves Ahsoka Tano. You're like, man, if I could have one Star Wars character, I want it to be Hayden Christensen and I want Ahsoka Tano. Like those two are my favorite. I mean, clearly they're fan favorites, right?
Right.
So those are the starters. But you can also buy Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi. These are like the Clone Wars kind of versions of them. And then just every other version of every other Star Wars coming out. I'm gonna need a bigger mantle to display my glories.
That's so weird because in the Avengers one, the starting pack was Thor, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Widow, which was pretty solid.
Yeah, and then you could buy Captain America as an extra one.
Yeah, it's not like they were like
and Hawkeye. They weren't like, you know what, Hawkeye, let's put him in the starter pack.
Yeah, they're like Hawkeye, Captain Fury, and then Agent
Captain
Carter.
Fury.
Fury.
Captain Fury.
Yeah.
Oh
man. Anyway.
Yeah, and Maria Hill. It's gonna be Maria Hill and Cage. We're like, well, Cage, he was in the movie. Like, yeah, he's an Avenger though. Look it up. It's fine.
We call him Power Man.
Power Man.
Flirted with that title for a while and then dropped it off immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. I can't even say this with a straight face. So Ken from Street Fighter, new Street Fighter's coming out. He got a redesign.
Good. And yeah. How did he turn out?
So good. When I say so good, I mean ridiculously stupid. I don't know what they're thinking. It's like this. It's clearly like a Japanese man. Like that's the picture of his face, or the face is like, he's got the Ryu like angry eyebrows, and like the strong like kind of Japanese looking face, and he's like super ripped, but he's got like this gorgeous flowing blonde hair. It just looks absurd because it's like this weird American hairstyle, and only like hairband rock type things, and just he's wearing like fingerless gloves. He just looks like someone you'd encounter in a gay club or something. It's no problem if they wrote him gay, but I don't think he's supposed. I think he's supposed to look super badass and awesome. So anyway, It looks ridiculous. I felt like that was a little unnecessary because Ken is supposed to be the kind of the philosophical opposite of Ryu, and I liked him because this happens all the time, like in life. Like you get this, like this happened in martial arts, for example. Like you get these phenoms that come in, right, and they're just naturally like amazing. They pick things up quickly. They're good. They don't train a lot, but they're still just as good as you. And you go and pour your blood, sweat, and tears in the mat or wherever you are, and then you're Ryu, and then these Kens come along, and you just can't help but, even though you're friends and you're training partners, you're like, I kind of want to beat the fuck out of that guy just because I want to be able to master this better than he does. So you don't need the visual difference.
To me, the standard Ken, like always in my head, the way I'm going to picture Ken, it's going to be an Ego Raptors music video where he rap battles Ryu.
Yeah. Hey man, let's talk it out. Oh yeah.
That's speaking of movie adaptations, have you been following this Mighty Number 9 game?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's supposed to be like the spiritual successor to Mega Man, i.e., just straight up ripping off Mega Man's everything. It's an indie kind of game, right? It was like a Kickstarter or something. Mm-hmm. They just announced apparently it's successful. They just announced a live action Mighty Number 9 movie coming out for digital release.
Whoa!
So they're making I don't even know how that would work. Like a rip-off of Mega Man convert into a live-action movie. Like it's already a copy of a copy, kind of like a dream state thing happening. So that will be an interesting thing to look out for.
That's going to be weird. I actually backed it on Kickstarter, that game, because I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down with this, because he left the studio and he was like, hey, I don't have rights to Mega Man, and they refused to let me work on it while I worked there, but now I'm retired and I've always wanted to do it. Are you guys interested? And just people went crazy about it. They're like, yeah, dude, more of that. So I'm pretty excited about it. But the live action movie, I don't know. Okay, speaking of things that live action movie possibly putting you to sleep, there's a gamer, and this is in Germany. Get this, and I mean, we've all thought about this before, but so what happens is this gamer, and he invited his friend over. So and this guy's 23 years old. He invites his friend over, and they start playing a video game together, right? But he's married. Or no, he's not married. He's got a living girlfriend, and he's playing video games. She gets home, and she's tired, and she's like, dude, I just need to I expected us to be hanging out together. It's one of those awkward moments where you're like, yeah, but he just swung by and we're playing some games. So, there's a few different ways to deal with this. And one of them is to give her drugs in a cup of tea so that she passes out. She did. She was like, "Oh, thank you." She was like, "Oh man, I was hoping to spend a quiet evening with you and reacquaint with each other." And he goes, "Yes, yes. Let me get you a cup of tea." And then he just dumped sleeping agents in there, and then she drinks it, and she's like, she said, she goes, "Yeah, where is it?" Oh, anyway, she basically was just like, "Oh, I don't know. I was trying to watch him play games for a second. I just kept falling asleep in my chair, and I was like, I'm falling asleep. I'm just gonna go to bed." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay." She goes to bed, and then she sleeps to noon the next day. She's late for work, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And as she's driving to work, she keeps nodding off because he gave her way too much. And anyway, yeah, he got in big trouble.
Yeah, it turns out it's not supposed to. So it's the official position of this show that you should not drug your girlfriend if she wants to spend quality time with you.
Well, let's get with our PR department before we make any hasty statements. But yes, yeah, don't drug your girlfriend.
Dangerously criminal.
What the heck, dude? You're the worst boyfriend ever. At the very worst, you can just be like, "Hey, can you do me a solid here? And just let me have the night with the guy. I guess I miscommunicated with you. I don't know, figure something out."
Yeah, but then you have to talk to, you have to have honest communication. This seems like a way to circumvent that.
So I wonder if she's suspicious. He sounds like the kind of guy who doesn't regularly make her tea if he's gonna drug her. He probably is not too caring about her. So
suspiciously thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah, suspiciously thoughtful. Yeah, I'm gonna use that next time. Maybe get me something. Hey, there's some coffee. That's suspiciously thoughtful.
But say it with no suspicion. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's suspiciously thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Oh man. But anyway. Okay,
wraps up
I got one more story from the world of pre-orders, which I ranted about earlier. Ark Survival, that game that you have you played it, right? You're in on the beta or the alpha?
Mm-hmm. No. Ever since that pre access stuff we talked about, I've been trying to stay away from it, even on games that look good.
Well, this one has reached 1 million early access sales, so it is a...
Holy crap. 1 million copies?
Yeah, before the game's it's still in the alpha. Just people paying to play an unfinished game. Already 1 million sold, so could be a fun game when it's done.
Okay, that sounds good for the studio. I love when indie games take off, and they must be doing something right. I don't know. I still haven't played it. I've watched a couple streams, but I don't know. I'm nervous about jumping in on anything like that again, man. I played Rust. I played
H1Z1.
Yeah, a bunch of survival games, and the developers, just like we talked about, they get all this money, and then they're like, well, we can kind of be done with this and move on to another project. We've made a lot of money already, or we could keep working and make no money. My family needs to be fed, and yeah.
I gotta buy narcotics for my girlfriend so she'll let me code all night again.
I need to totally pull that sometime. Amy, hey, we got a 5-man together for Heroes of the Storm already, but you 1 and 2. I guess we could rotate. Let me get you a cup of tea while we think about it.
Really get your reflexes sharpened with some caffeine.
Yeah. Tea. Is this sleepy time tea? Yeah, it's sleepy.
It's definitely that. Cool. So that's my news.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the review section. All right. This is the news, or this is the review section of the podcast where we talk about video games we've been playing. I am suspiciously low in my chair here. I need to adjust. I've got my legs up on this. Anyway, next to me. I'll just scoot this down. There you go. Hey. Review sections. We haven't talked about reviews in a while because we had the guests and whatnot. So, David, you've had friends in. You've been watching movies. What kind of video games have you been playing?
All right. So, Joseph and I have been hunting Titans. It's some Attack on Titan co-op. Yeah, so, okay, actually, this game is way bigger than I thought. There's an open world mode that just I thought was just a tacked on thing. but apparently it's a really long campaign. I was one of our listeners was actually looking for people to play with the other day.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'll jump in." It's Patrick, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll jump in. I'd like to kill some titans with you," but I was unqualified for the missions he was running. This guy was far ahead from where I was in the game, so that was a wake up call. So when Joseph came out here, we started just plowing through the open world, just fighting titans as we could. They get crazy, like the abnormals. They're all like running around on all fours and like doing this weird leapfrog back when you hook onto them. They just like stupid little frog jump, and I'm like, oh, that's disconcerting and also very effective against my attacks. So been fighting through that. It's a really fun game. Upgrading. I taught Joseph how to upgrade his swords and ODM equipment. You can find new design specs and materials in the field and come back and like upgrade your stuff, make it more gas efficient or faster. So we've been kind of playing with that. But also, I bought that game Legendary that Sean was talking about.
Really? What do you think about that? So for anyone who didn't hear, Legendary is, what is it again?
It's a cooperative deck building game where you play as Marvel superheroes fighting against the board. So yeah, it was. We were pretty tired, so we made some mistakes in our strategeries because you're up late playing cards. But I could see it being interesting, like having some depth to it, the way you design the decks, the way you build your deck. Like we were just kind of like, we'll just buy whatever we can afford. But I think if you make more conscious decisions, it's can actually have a lot of depth to it. I kind of prefer games like Sentinels of the Multiverse where you are specifically focused on one hero. This one is just I want some Spider-Man, some Iron Man, and some Captain America. That's my deck, which is fun, but I'm more into like the making up stories thing. Like I want to be Spider-Man, Iron Man, or Captain America. I don't want to just have a deck full of their pictures.
Yeah.
So less interesting for me on that angle, but there's a lot of if you enjoy deck building, it's really good for that because you just build the deck as you play the game, making those choices. Like, do I want to focus a lot on resources? Should I buy more shield officers, or should I just like get a lot of like really weak small hero cards, or save up for the big ones? And there's those kind of decisions. Like, is this game going to go long? Do I have time to kind of focus on my economy, or should I just go straight into the quick strikes?
I think I'd like a big one because I like to have a big old deck, like
big old deck, right?
But
sure.
But seriously, like in Hearthstone, I played like giants, like the things that like take a while to get out. But it's like Zerg. Yeah. You're super vulnerable at the start, but at the end, hopefully, you can just destroy them. Well, it's exactly the opposite of Zerg actually, because in the end you get destroyed. So you're vulnerable, but in the end you suck. So
yeah, we won the first game. We beat the Red Skull, and the second game we fought Magneto. And like they have these randomly generated schemes, and his scheme was to it was a prison break from like a superpowered prison, the Negative Zone, from Civil War, where they were putting all the prisoners. So he's trying to get them out. And the winning condition is we have to beat Magneto 4 times. And his winning condition is he has to have 12 supervillains escape. So he had 9 escape, and then he ran out of supervillains because we just started beating him up, but we could never get strong enough to actually attack Magneto. So we're just beating up supervillains as they come out the gate. And then like after a while, he just was like, cool, bro, I'm out. And he just flew off with the ones that escaped, like the 9 that he got away with. So it was a draw. Like he didn't win, we didn't win, everyone felt shitty. It was good times.
What a dick.
Yeah.
That sucks. Somebody commented on our video. They like my cup. It was my Corgizilla cup. It's hilarious.
I'll describe it. It's a corgi in the background, and he's destroying a city as they're
walking. Yeah, there's like planes. Look at the he's trying to stop him.
Can't stop him.
This Corgizilla, no one is safe. This was a gift for me. Yeah, so games I've been playing, Arkham Knight, like I said, I beat it. I don't want to spoil it, but I so want to talk about it. It was it's Rocksteady's like last, they say they're not going to make another one ever again. I don't know about that because they made probably, a lot of money, but they definitely tried to wrap things up. And so I'm so excited to talk about it. I've just been chomping at the bit. You should play it in 4 years, like I do on your suggestions.
Well, even if I wanted to play it, I could not, for it's still not fixed and back for sale on PC.
That's right, yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm waiting for them to get their shit together, and then I will also play the game.
Yeah. Like I said, I still haven't played the Game of Thrones episode that came out. It's an investment, man.
Do you need time to prepare?
I do. I feel like I need to sit and just be like, all right, I need to get my shit straight. Let me do a little mindfulness exercise or something.
Yeah, I've got an episode of Life is Strange waiting, and I'm like, I really need to be in a certain headspace to play that game.
But do you want to play it though, right? Or I do.
Yeah, I want to play it, but I don't like. You have to kind of schedule a 3-hour block of time just to play it, and then you have to schedule a little bit of time just to get into it, and then to process it. It's like when you see Mad Max when you're walking out, you're like, did I hate that movie or was it brilliant? I have to process this.
Yeah, exactly. I need some time alone. Yeah, that's that kind of happens in Arkham Knight too a little bit. Like it's just someone, taking the Batman idea and going somewhere totally different, or not totally different, just their own idea of it, and you're like, huh, cool. But anyway, because you get like Christopher Nolan's idea where his whole thing was that Batman was a symbol, right? And the whole deal was that it doesn't matter who takes the cowl, it's the point that you do it. So that's when at the end he, spoiler for the movies, hopefully no one's seen it, but the idea is that you're going to he's going to pass it on, right, to Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And that's a common comic book motif, right? Like the mantle of a superhero gets passed on. Like Captain America's mantle is currently being worn by the former Falcon, I think Bucky had it for a while, and Batman is just whoever's on hand right now is going to be like after Batman died, quote unquote. There was a new Batman in the comics, and
John Paul Rivers was when Nightfall, whenever he got his back broken. Whatever happened to that guy? It's so random.
And currently, Commissioner Gordon is actually Batman in the current DC line.
What?
He's got like a bat mech suit. It's crazy looking. It's basically a Gotham PD like program where he's running it as like a police special forces unit, and he's Batman.
That's pretty weird. I can understand that, but I don't like that because I think that they had a good. I like that they had two different ways to get about the same thing because everybody thinks this stuff. Like you get like you're like, hey, just let it all filter out. Like if someone robs you and you're like, they caught the guy. We just needed to the justice system just needs to take care of him. Or someone hits your car and runs. You're like, the cops will find him. It's no big deal. But if someone like rapes your sister or something, or like, murders your son or something, you gotta like, you're like, no, this is Batman, bitch. This is me. Like, I don't want some system to take care of this. I want this guy real justice, right? Like, I need someone to beat the shit out of him, hang him from upside down from a lamppost for 12 hours while the cops trying to find him, and then let him get off scot-free because you totally screwed up the evidence.
By the way, these are your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent.
The right to remain punched in the face. He's not very good at them because if he could think, he probably would have just hired lawyers by now and sued all the Falcones. But anyway, it's still in the back of my mind. This game, thinking about it. Also, obviously, playing Chrono Trigger, which we talked about on our bonus episodes.
Yes, we finished the game. So check out our last bonus episode, and I think it was a great success.
Yeah. And also, speaking of Falcon, I got to play with one of our listeners. One of them caught me and on and able to play, and so I played with him. His name on, I guess, Here's the Storm is Falcon. It was pretty fun. We did pretty well. Well, I don't know. We did okay. But,
how was the butcher? Did you get butchered by him?
Yeah, actually, I played as the butcher, and I suck. Like something about. I think I've got like an impulsive streak in me, right? Like I think that's my problem.
Melee assassins don't really suit you. You're like, I'm all in. Like you can't be. You're like, I am.
Yeah, that's why like it served me well to play like kind of a tank, character that like did a lot of damage or soaks a lot of damage, because I'm like, when I'm in, baby, and I'm just running around and like, no, I mean, I kind of pay attention, but like whenever I see an opportunity to strike, a lot of times I just do, even though I'm like, oh, that was a bad call. Damn. Okay. So with a melee assassin, like the butcher, you can chase someone down from anywhere. So like you just hit the button and he goes, fresh meat. And then you just like charge and you just don't stop. You don't stop. So like the person's running and they're like, oh my God, they mount up. They're still running. And you're like, oh, and you get faster and faster until you finally hit them. And then you just start carving them up. And you could see how that could go poorly very quickly. So because as you start carving up, you do more damage the faster or the longer you stay there, and you like suck more health off. So you kind of, you're like, ooh, if I disengage at any point, I'm dead for sure, because you run away and you're all slow and shitty.
Basically a walking sunk cost fallacy. Like the longer you're carving, like, I can't run now. Look how fast I'm carving.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly true. And if you don't have a team, if you're not on communications, like comms, talking to each other, like you need that with the Butcher, I think. So it was pretty hilarious, the fact how many deep dives I did on accident too. Sometimes I'm like, I click it and he's like, and it's a global announcement, so everybody's playing the game here's fresh meat, and it's on. So what happens is if you're a squishy, you're like, oh, that's probably me, and so you just turn around, and you're like, oh god, and you just start running. And like they'll blink, they'll get on horses and start running. Like I'm like, oh no! And you can't stop once you start because you're the Butcher. So I'm just like just tearing across the battlefield. And before I know it, I'm like in their towers, and I'm like, well, if I leave now, I'm definitely dead. I might as well try to carve this guy up. So I just go crazy and die. And I'm almost always 1 for 1. Like I'll kill someone, but I also die. My kill ratio is shit. So funny. No, that game's pretty fun. So been doing that a little bit.
Cool.
Any other games for you?
No, not really. It's been mostly TV. Been introducing my brother to Supernatural, and then yesterday we did a Sword Art Online Season 2 marathon.
Sweet.
This is Series 2, I guess. It's the one where they play the cyber post-apocalyptic gun game, and then the second game, which has all the feels. The second half of that season, so many feels. I was like watching the end of it, like I've seen it before. I'm kind of tearing up a little bit. I look over and I see them like kind of like rubbing their eyes, like there's something in my eye. These grown men just watching cartoons and weeping openly like small children.
Oh, I love being an adult.
If you don't weep openly watching the end of Sword Art Online Part 2, then you're just a monster.
Yeah, that happened to me with Inside Out, that movie. Like I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, unexpected feels. You're like, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. And all of a sudden, it's like, it hits, and I was like, holy crap. And I never cry at movies, but I was like, I'm like actively fighting. It looks like I'm fighting like a crap. Like, like I need to take a crap. I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, just clench your butt cheeks through it. And I look over and my son's just like, there's this this, I mean, because it's dealing with real shit, right? Like that's the point of the movie. And so like I look over my son, he's just like staring like wide-eyed, like he just seen like a car accident, and there's these little bitty tears that just start forming, and he looks at me and he goes, he looks at me and he makes eye contact, and I'm fighting, and I'm like, and he goes, I'm about to cry really hard right now. I was like, and like it's to the point where I can't say anything, or I'd be like, okay. So I was like, and I patted his back, and it was like it's these moments where I'm like, should I just cry in front of him, or I don't? Yeah, I feel weird.
It's weird culturalization, right? Like men, like the only time we're allowed to cry is like over a glass of whiskey, like just one single tear as we mourn the death of our mother or something.
yeah, down our rugged, unshaven cheeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
We're expected to fight it. Like it's a like if you play like Last of Us, Joel, whenever he has this emotional moment, he's like, and he's fighting it. It's like a thing we're expected to do. So I'm like, how much of that do I want to? I'm having these philosophical thoughts as I'm trying not to bawl like a freaking baby. But everyone in the theater was just like, it's just dead quiet except for like, that kind of thing. It's crazy. But I know what you mean. In other words, watching cartoons as a grown man crying.
It's just proof that you're a man.
So a game I want to get back to is The Witcher. This game is so big. I want to get back to it.
They just released a lot of DLC for it too, like as big as The Witcher 2. Like that game now added, and they do the free DLC like Monster Hunter 4, so it's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, well, I've always liked CD Red Project, I think is their name. These guys are out of nowhere, and they're just doing it right. I think they're a Swedish company, if I remember right, and go figure, and they're giving things out for free for the betterment of humans.
Socialist monsters.
Oh, a monster. And if they were Microsoft, they charge for every second you play because capitalism, right? But I want to get back to that game. I want to get back to Dying Light. I want to get back to that free running game. I want to get back to Shadowrun, the game I beat. Now I want to play Dragonfall. I have so many games, dude. I want to get back to Dreamfall, which is an extenuation of The Longest Journey, which apparently was amazing. So it's just I have so many.
Yeah, I've got like 70% of the collectibles on Assassin's Creed Rogue waiting for me, but the summer is a finite resource. We might not get to do everything.
I know, man. I also want to play Earthbound. I want to beat it, and then also I've got Heroes of the Storm. I like playing. I like trying to stay competitive. So much. And if DLC comes out for Arkham Knight, I'm buying that shit. So
Yeah, Batgirl's coming out.
Ah man, goddamn.
But it's gonna take longer for the PC because of PC.
Oh well. Anyway, well, cool. It's all I've been playing, and these are all the things I'd like to get back to, but life sucks. So we're not going to.
And on that happy note,
Yeah, let's switch over to the other section, and any of our live viewers just stand by, and we'll provide the other link.